keep in mind, this is a multiplayer game. It doesn't mean the U.S. government would be the one to do it. It could be CCP. It could be Russians. It could be Hezbollah. It could be anybody that wants to just get it on, right? It could be some cartel narcos in Mexico shooting across the river. It could be a lot of people. It could be some crazy people in a militia. It could be a lot of people, right? It's a multiplayer game, but the energy is quite high right now. And we already know that the so-called, I call it OGUS, the occupational government of the United States. We already know that it's out of control. We already know that the only rules that it plays by is anything it can get away with, it will do, right? We already know that. We saw January 6th. We see Americans have to show their ID and get searched and whatnot to get on airplanes. Meanwhile, they got illegals, straight up invaders coming across the border by the thousands every day that can board aircraft without any ID. There are no rules. We are clearly being hunted. And the American citizens, patriots, are clearly being hunted. They're looking for any excuse to go to war, and they will do it. Obviously, there's going to be a very serious war. It's clearly coming. Don't walk into their traps. Do not do it. Why would you go to Eagle Pass, which is so baited, when Abbott clearly could close the border if he wanted to? This is clearly a wrestling match. This is clearly a show. That's the Thunderdome. Don't go. Do other things to close the border, right? There are many things that you could do to help close the border. I won't give advice, but is
it the biggest thing to get Congress to cut off the State Department funding to the UN?
Yeah, they could cut it off. Look, I'm in the city of knowledge right here. Our invasion is caused by the people on this map. In Panama, these IOM and the Red Cross and all these clowns at HIAS. HIAS is the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, right? It's mostly funded by the United States. It's in the open, isn't it? Listen, Mayorkas was a board member on HIAS. HIAS is actually right beside China Camp in Darien Province, Panama. Here they call it San Vicente Camp. I call it China Camp because that's where most of the Chinese go. Now, let me be clear. I want to state it again. Mayorkas was a board member on HIAS, the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. He was a board member. Then he moved to Department of Homeland Security, where he is now the chief, right? And you can go to the HIAS website, HIAS website, and you can see where they're congratulating Mayorkas.
That's right. He's quarterbacking the whole thing. Send